Did you know that something as simple as your bedtime snack could silently trigger a heart attack while you sleep? It sounds unbelievable, but every year, thousands of older adults go to bed feeling fine and never wake up, all because of one common mistake. If you're over 65, your body processes food differently at night, and the wrong foods at the wrong time can quietly overload your heart, disrupt your breathing, and put your life at risk. In this video, I'll walk you through 8 foods that no senior should eat before bed and show you safe, comforting alternatives that protect your heart while you sleep. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? Drop it in the comments. I truly appreciate being part of your day. And if this feels helpful, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another life-saving tip. As we grow older, the nighttime hours, once a time for deep rest, can quietly become the most dangerous part of the day for our health. After age 65, the body's natural systems begin to change. Blood circulation slows down, heart rhythms become more sensitive, and blood pressure regulation becomes less reliable, especially while we sleep. These changes may seem invisible, but they create the perfect conditions for heart attacks, strokes, and breathing problems to happen, often without warning and often during the night. That's why what you eat before bed matters more now than ever. A simple snack might feel harmless, even comforting, but the wrong kind of food at the wrong time can quietly add pressure to a heart that's already working overtime. Many seniors don't realize that one bite before bed can make the difference between a peaceful night and a medical emergency. And that's exactly what we'll uncover together in this video. We're going to look at 8 common foods that may seem innocent, even healthy, but can actually harm your heart, lungs, and blood vessels while you sleep. Some of these may already be in your kitchen. But number 3, processed meats, is especially dangerous and has been directly linked to fatal heart attacks in seniors during the night. The science behind it is clear. Certain ingredients in these meats increase inflammation and oxidative stress right when your heart should be resting. So if you've ever had a snack before bed and thought this can't hurt, I gently invite you to stay with me a few more minutes. Because the truth is, some bedtime habits need to change, not out of fear, but out of care for the life you still want to live. And if just one of these foods is sitting in your fridge tonight, this might be the most important video you'll watch all week. There's something comforting about a small slice of cheese before bed. It feels simple, familiar, and harmless, especially when the house is quiet and the evening feels long. But for many older adults, especially those over 65, that tiny bedtime habit could be silently putting their heart under unnecessary strain. You see, as we age, our kidneys become less efficient at managing fluid, and our blood vessels become more sensitive to sodium. Processed cheeses, like those single-wrapped slices or soft cheese spreads, often contain high levels of salt and saturated fat. When eaten late in the day, especially right before lying down, they can lead to water retention and cause your blood pressure to spike during sleep. This combination creates extra pressure on the heart at a time when it should be resting and recovering. Elizabeth, a 67-year-old retired teacher from Oregon, learned this the hard way. For months, she had a nightly routine: crackers and processed cheese while reading in bed. She never thought much of it until one night she woke up at 2 a.m. gasping for air. Her chest felt tight and her breathing was shallow. Her doctors ran tests but found no signs of infection or major illness. Then a specialist asked a simple question: what do you eat before bed? When Elizabeth described her habit, the cardiologist explained how processed cheese can trigger fluid buildup in the lungs while lying down, especially in older adults. Within 2 weeks of changing her snack routine, her nighttime symptoms disappeared completely. It's a powerful reminder that even small choices matter. If you enjoy cheese, you don't have to give it up entirely. Try switching to a thin slice of low-sodium mozzarella or a small handful of unsalted nuts instead. They provide satisfaction and protein without the overload of sodium and fats that can quietly tax your heart. At this stage in life, your body speaks in whispers, not shouts. Sometimes it tells you through a shortness of breath, a racing pulse, or restless sleep. But you can listen gently and respond with care. Your evening snack doesn't have to become a risk. With just a small shift, it can be part of the healing instead. For many older adults, a small bowl of cereal or a sweet cookie before bed feels like a harmless little pleasure. It's familiar, it's comforting, and after a long day, it can feel like a reward, a way to end the evening on a gentle note. But what most people don't realize is that this quiet ritual may be silently placing stress on your heart long after you've fallen asleep. As we age, our metabolism slows down and our ability to regulate blood sugar becomes more fragile. When we eat sugary foods at night like sweetened cereals, cookies, or pastries, our blood sugar rises quickly, then drops sharply during sleep. This sudden drop is called a glucose crash, and it often happens around 2 or 3 a.m. when the body is most vulnerable. That crash can trigger a release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which raise your heart rate and blood pressure in the middle of the night. Raymond, a 71-year-old from Florida, used to enjoy a bowl of sweet cereal before bed every night. He thought it helped him relax, maybe even sleep better. But night after night, he started waking up with his heart racing and a strange feeling of unease. His doctor recommended a continuous glucose monitor, and the results were shocking. His blood sugar spiked after his snack, then plummeted to dangerously low levels around 3 a.m., putting serious pressure on his heart. Once he switched his evening snack to a sliced apple with a spoonful of almond butter, everything changed. The natural fiber and healthy fats helped keep his blood sugar stable throughout the night, and the palpitations stopped completely. Raymond said it best himself, "I thought sugar helped me sleep. I didn't know it was quietly working against me." At this stage in life, your body needs steadiness, not spikes. A calm, even rhythm in your blood sugar supports a calm, even rhythm in your heartbeat. And something as simple as the right bedtime snack can make all the difference. It's not about giving up sweetness. It's about choosing a kind of sweetness that loves your heart back. And once you make the change, you'll likely sleep better, feel stronger, and wake up with more peace in your chest. For many seniors, a few slices of deli meat before bed feels like an easy, satisfying way to end the day. It's quick, familiar, and doesn't require much effort, especially when cooking late at night no longer feels enjoyable. But for older adults, especially over 65, this simple habit may quietly be increasing the risk of a nighttime heart event. Processed meats like salami, bacon, and cold cuts are often loaded with sodium preservatives and nitrates compounds that once helped with shelf life, but now may threaten heart health. As these additives break down in the body, they form substances called nitrosamines, which can increase inflammation and oxidative stress in your blood vessels. For a younger person, this stress may pass unnoticed. But for a senior, especially during sleep when blood flow slows and the body is in recovery mode, that inflammation can become dangerous. It creates the perfect storm for a heart attack to occur silently without warning. Thomas, a 78-year-old from Ohio, used to enjoy salami and crackers while watching the late news. It was his routine when he looked forward to every evening. He had no major health issues, just a little stiffness in the mornings, nothing unusual for his age. But one morning, Thomas didn't wake up. His family was shocked. The coroner's report showed elevated nitrate levels and signs of acute cardiac stress. His doctor later confirmed that his nightly snack had likely played a major role. It's hard to imagine something so small could matter so much. But it does. The good news is you don't have to give up evening protein. A simple swap like a piece of baked chicken breast or a hard-boiled egg provides nutrition without triggering inflammation. It gives your heart what it needs: support, not stress. As we grow older, every bite becomes more meaningful. Your body is still working for you, but it needs a little more care than before. And sometimes the smallest choices, what's on your plate before bed, can quietly shape your tomorrow. Choosing wisely means waking up stronger, safer, and more at peace. And that's something worth staying here for. For many older adults, a spicy dinner feels like a small joy that keeps life interesting. The warmth, the flavor, the little kick of heat. It brings back memories, stirs the senses, and makes food feel more alive. But after age 65, our bodies respond differently to spice, especially late in the evening when the digestive system is slowing down. Spicy foods can trigger acid reflux, a common issue among seniors. This happens when stomach acid moves upward into the esophagus, often while lying down after eating. The burning sensation can feel like chest pain, and in some cases, it mimics the symptoms of a heart attack. But more than discomfort, reflux at night can stimulate the vagus nerve, a key nerve that helps regulate heart rhythm. When irritated, it can cause palpitations, skipped beats, or dangerous arrhythmias during sleep. Patricia, a 68-year-old from Arizona, loved her spicy tacos. She often enjoyed them for dinner with extra jalapenos, believing the heat was part of what made the meal feel alive. But one night around 2 a.m., she woke up with crushing chest pain and shortness of breath. Her husband called 911, fearing the worst. Thankfully, it wasn't a heart attack, but her doctor explained that repeated nighttime reflux was putting strain on her heart. Patricia admitted she never connected her love of spicy food to her nighttime health scares. But once she made a simple shift, choosing milder meals and using herbs like basil, oregano, or thyme instead of hot peppers, her symptoms faded and her sleep improved. It wasn't about giving up flavor. It was about giving her body the peace it needed to rest and repair through the night. As we grow older, digestion slows, tissues become more sensitive, and the distance between comfort and danger becomes shorter. Something that once energized you might now silently exhaust your system. But that doesn't mean giving up joy. It just means giving it a gentler shape. Tonight, when you reach for dinner, remember Patricia's story. Choose kindness over heat. Let your food comfort your heart, not challenge it. Because restful sleep starts with what we place on our plate. For many seniors, a small glass of wine in the evening feels like a comforting tradition. It's a way to relax, mark the end of the day, and bring a little warmth to the quiet hours before sleep. But after age 65, that seemingly harmless nightcap may affect the body in ways most people never expect, especially during the deep hours of the night. As we age, our respiratory system becomes more sensitive, and the muscles in our throat lose some of their tone. Alcohol acts as a muscle relaxant, and when consumed before bed, it can cause the airway to collapse partially during sleep. This disruption in airflow leads to a condition called sleep apnea, where breathing briefly stops or becomes shallow, often without the person even knowing. These drops in oxygen may last just seconds, but they force the heart to work harder over and over again throughout the night. And over time, this constant stress can increase the risk of high blood pressure, stroke, and even heart failure. Howard, a 73-year-old retired accountant, used to enjoy 2 glasses of wine each night while reading. He didn't snore loudly or feel tired during the day, so he never imagined he had a problem. But after a routine checkup, his doctor recommended a sleep study, and the results surprised everyone. On nights he drank alcohol, his oxygen levels dropped more than 40 times an hour, placing significant strain on his heart. Howard admitted, "I thought wine helped me sleep. I didn't realize it was hurting me in my sleep." Once he replaced his evening wine with a small cup of tart cherry juice, something remarkable happened. His breathing became steadier, his sleep deeper, his heart rate more stable. Tart cherries contain natural compounds like melatonin, which support restful sleep without the risks that alcohol brings. Chamomile tea is another gentle option, calming both body and mind without lowering oxygen. At this stage of life, your body is asking for softness, not stimulation. It's asking for steadiness, not spikes. And by choosing something simple and soothing, you're giving your heart the calm it truly needs. Tonight, when you reach for a drink, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this helping my heart rest or making it fight? Sometimes the answer lies in the quiet choices we make before we close our eyes. For many people, especially in their later years, a small piece of dark chocolate after dinner or a warm cup of coffee in the evening feels like comfort. It's a quiet ritual, a little pleasure to end the day on a sweet or familiar note. But what feels gentle to the mind may not be so gentle to the heart, especially when you're over 65. Caffeine found in coffee, tea, chocolate, and even some pain relievers stays in your system much longer than most people realize. In fact, the half-life of caffeine, the time it takes for just half of it to leave your body, is around 5 to 7 hours. That means if you enjoy a cup of coffee at 7 p.m., your body may still be processing caffeine well after midnight. For seniors whose bodies metabolize substances more slowly, this effect can be even stronger and more unpredictable. Caffeine stimulates the central nervous system, increases heart rate, and raises blood pressure. While this may help with alertness during the day, it can become risky during sleep. In the early morning hours around 2 or 3 a.m., many seniors experience unexpected awakenings, heart-pounding anxiety, rising, breath quickening. And often they don't realize their bedtime snack or drink is to blame. Meredith, a 70-year-old from Washington, loved her piece of dark chocolate after dinner. It was her daily treat, something she looked forward to. But for months, she had been waking up at night with her heart racing. At first, she blamed stress or dreams. Then her doctor suggested she cut out all caffeine after 2 p.m., including the chocolate. Within days, the night palpitations stopped. Meredith was stunned. "I had no idea something so small could affect my heart so much," she said. Now instead of chocolate, she sips a cup of chamomile tea or eats half a banana, both naturally calming and gentle on the heart. As we age, the body craves predictability. The heart, in particular, does best with steady rhythms and minimal stimulation after dark. So when choosing an evening snack or drink, think about what will help your heart rest, not race. Because sometimes the smallest habit, just one bite or one sip, can decide whether you sleep peacefully or wake up in distress. And when it comes to your heart, peace is always the better choice. There's something undeniably comforting about crispy, golden fried food. The crunch, the flavor, the warmth it brings back memories of family dinners, weekend treats, in moments that felt joyful and full. But after the age of 60, our bodies begin to process fat and inflammation differently than before. And what once felt harmless on the outside can quietly become harmful on the inside, especially while we sleep. Fried foods are typically high in saturated fats and oxidized oils, which increase inflammation in the bloodstream. This inflammation can make existing plaque in the arteries more unstable, raising the risk that it might rupture. And for older adults, especially those with some degree of atherosclerosis, this can lead to sudden cardiac events during the night. That's because during sleep, the body naturally lowers its defenses and slows its anti-inflammatory processes, leaving your heart more vulnerable. Gregory, a 69-year-old from Texas, had always enjoyed fried chicken for dinner a few times a week. It was his comfort food, and he never had any major heart problems. But one night after a particularly heavy dinner, he woke up around 1 a.m. with severe chest pain. His wife called 911, and the doctors confirmed he had suffered a heart attack. They told him the meal he'd eaten just hours before may have been the tipping point. That moment changed everything for Gregory. He didn't want to give up flavor, but he realized he needed to give his heart a better chance. He began choosing baked or steamed foods in the evening and swapped greasy snacks for unsalted popcorn or roasted vegetables. To his surprise, he not only felt lighter after dinner, he also slept more peacefully, and his blood pressure readings improved within weeks. The truth is, our bodies are constantly speaking to us, especially as we age. They ask for care, for balance, for less fire, and more ease. And while fried foods may bring short-term comfort, the long-term cost can be far too great. So tonight, before reaching for something crispy, pause and ask yourself, how do I want my heart to feel while I sleep, safe, rested, supported? Sometimes the most loving thing we can do for ourselves is to let go of the foods that once brought joy, but now bring risk. And in their place, choose peace. Choose life. Choose tomorrow. There's something familiar about reaching for a bag of salty crackers or chips late in the evening. It's convenient, it's quick, and it satisfies that little craving that sneaks in after dinner. For many older adults, it feels harmless, a small reward at the end of the day. But inside the aging body, especially after 65, that handful of salty snacks may be doing more harm than we realize. As we grow older, our blood vessels become less elastic and our kidneys less efficient, at flushing out excess sodium. When we consume high sodium foods, especially close to bedtime, the salt stays in the bloodstream longer. This leads to fluid retention and rising blood pressure, often peaking during the early morning hours when the body should be resting. And in seniors whose nighttime blood pressure regulation is already more fragile, this increase can be enough to trigger a silent stroke. Deborah, a 75-year-old from Illinois, enjoyed her routine of packaged crackers each night while watching TV in bed. She had always watched her diet during the day, but evening felt like her time to relax. After feeling dizzy one morning, her doctor suggested 24-hour blood pressure monitoring. The results were surprising. Her blood pressure spiked dramatically between 2 and 4 a.m., reaching levels that placed her at high risk for stroke. They traced the cause back to her nightly salty snack. Once Deborah switched to fresh cucumber slices or a bowl of unsalted air-popped popcorn, everything began to shift. Her nighttime blood pressure stabilized, her sleep became deeper, and her energy during the day improved. She hadn't realized that such a small change could have such a powerful impact on her health. But her story is far from rare. Salt may be silent, but its effects are loud inside the aging body. Your heart feels it. Your brain feels it. Your blood vessels feel it. And the consequences often come not during the day, but quietly while you sleep. Tonight, as you consider what to snack on before bed, ask yourself gently, is this helping my body rest or making it fight through the night? Choose snacks that support you, that hydrate you, that whisper comfort, not pressure. Because at this stage in life, every moment of rest should be safe, healing, and deeply deserved. If you found this information helpful so far, please take a moment to click, like, and share it with someone you care about over 65. You never know, this small act could help protect their heart and maybe even save their life tonight. Walter and Thomas didn't know. They didn't know that something as simple as their bedtime snack could silently place stress on their heart, night after night. They didn't know that one small choice made out of habit or comfort could quietly take away the chance to wake up the next morning. But you're different. You have the knowledge now. And that gives you something powerful, a chance to protect yourself and to stay present in the lives of the people who love you. Because at this stage of life, we learn that it's not the big events that shape our future, it's the quiet choices we make each evening. A slice of cheese, a handful of chips, or the decision to say not tonight. I choose something better. Your heart has worked hard to carry you this far. Tonight you can choose to lighten its load, not with fear, not with guilt, but with calm understanding and love for your tomorrow. One small change, just one, can bring you more mornings with your grandchildren, more peaceful nights without fear, and maybe even 10 more healthy years filled with stories still waiting to be told. So don't let your last meal of the day be the reason you don't see the sunrise. Let it be a gift you give to yourself, one that says, I'm still here. I'm still choosing life. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which food surprised you the most today? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts, or simply type the word HOPE if you believe it's never too late to make a better choice. If you found this video helpful, please click like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. And if you have a friend or loved one over 65, I invite you to share this with them. It might just protect their heart tonight. Thank you for spending this time with me. May your evening be quiet, your rest be deep, and may tomorrow greet you with a stronger heart and a lighter step. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.